Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Joy of the Hobby podcast, episode 29, an Essential Credentials production. My name is Matt. I am joined by my co-host, Ben. He's over
Hello,
there.
everybody. Yep,
What's
there we
up,
go.
Ben? And we've got our buddy, one of our favorite guests making an appearance, Will Spence. What's up,
That one's
dude?
easy.
How's it going?
Good. Really happy to have you here, buddy. It's awesome to be back. A lot of interesting things happening in the hobby right now. A lot of interesting things happening for us. Obviously, as you can see from the episode title, we're going to be talking a little bit more about trades and just how that's changed so much in the last few years since when we all met and when we all got in that 90s group, and just curious to hear what our viewers are experiencing, going to trade nights, trading with each other, through messages and that kind of thing. We're also going to have a little bit of a rapid fire at the end, which is going to be really exciting. But to start things off, I'm going to throw it to Ben, who can then throw it to Will. Ben, what's been bringing you joy in the hobby as of late, the last couple of weeks here, as you get more boxes piled up behind you?
I know the background. I should have put on a virtual. You just see boxes back there right now. But
Yeah.
I'm still, as we alluded to, or I mentioned in the last episode, still in like a selling mode. But I'm having fun doing it this time. I'm spacing out and actually scheduling my listings, so they are ending at a time that's reasonable for me as well. So I'm enjoying doing that. It's fun seeing like the returns on some cards that I've kind of held for a little bit and weren't really PC, but I kind of just was in a holding pattern for some reason, more because I was focused on collecting and my stuff, Joy of the Hobby centric stuff that we were working on and building up my PC. So switching to this cycle has been a lot of fun. And then I had a couple small cards come in, but stuff that's been exciting that I wouldn't have normally been looking for. But when I'm in a sell cycle, I'm also kind of looking for deals that are things that I'm not going to personally want for the PC. But if it's a good deal, it's hard to pass it up when I'm in that mindset. So I've had a couple pickups like that have been fun. A couple I'll keep, a couple I'll sell. But it's a shift in the mindset that's been enjoyable.
Awesome.
Will, I know you've been at the card shop. What's been going on with you? I know you got some stuff to show later.
Yeah, the card shop is exploding. We moved to a bigger location in October,
Nice.
and that like quadrupled the size of the shop. And there was like I was talking to the owner last weekend I worked, and he was like, "Man, when I bought this building, it was kind of like, holy crap! Like this is a big step and a big risk." And it's like if I buy this new spot, we're gonna need an uptick in foot traffic, and are we gonna get it? And it's been like exponential. It's
so cool.
Our Saturdays, like it used to just be like me and one other guy, maybe two other guys on a Saturday, and now there's like 6 of us on a Saturday.
Unreal.
We're doing like 400 or 500 transactions a day, or not a day, but on Saturdays are like huge. And we had like Topps Rip Night a couple weeks ago. We had Mazio Bennett, who plays for the Gamecocks. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. So he came, ripped some packs with some kids, signed some autographs. I think we did like close to or over 500 transactions that day. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow,
so
man.
It's booming right now.
Yeah. So state of the hobby from your side of things looks very healthy.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
It's crazy. I feel like since March of 2020, I've been like waiting for the dip, and it just like it keeps going up and it'll plateau, but then it just keeps going up. It's like, okay. It's just
amazing to see that for you guys, man. Like, because I remember we had you on right before the move. You were anticipating the move coming. And, obviously there's a lot that goes into that, thinking like, are we going to be able to get the same, if not double the amount of foot traffic? And it sounds like, is it location too, Will? Do you think that's been the biggest thing?
No.
Like you're in a worse location now.
We're more hidden. We used to be like literally on Main Street.
Okay.
And now we're only like a quarter mile down the road, but it's in a little like strip mall, and we're on the corner, and it's a busy intersection that's kind of hidden, and we're kind of hard to turn into. Like it's not like here's a card shop location,
right?
But man, I think having more space and like letting people have some room to kind of like hang out, has kind of help the word of mouth a little bit of like, yeah, let's go hang out at the card shop instead of like, hey, let's go to the card shop and then get out of there because I'm getting claustrophobic.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I keep thinking like I would love to get over there and see it, because I know we obviously work with you guys, and you guys have plenty of Upper Deck products that you sell there, which is awesome. So yeah, I'll have to see what I can, because I know we have an office over in North Carolina, so it would be kind of cool to make it a 2-for-1 special. There's actually a printing facility in North Carolina too, so I need to get over there and just see the cards being made. But it would be great to go down there. Hey, can we go down here and see a couple card shops, including this one? Because it's good to go down and keep up those positive relationships for sure. So before I get to anything else, we want to say hi to Bernard. We have him here almost every episode. Big Iserman collector. So welcome to the show. And Curtis is here as well. Good to have you both in here. As far as of late, it's been a really fascinating time. Ben and I have had some interesting discussions. We don't have to really talk about what those are, but like in terms of thinking back, I was kind of reflecting on like when we all kind of first met, we were both like grabbing left and right, Ripkins, A-Rods, Bonds, Gwynn, Griffey, Ichiro, Marc-Andre Fleury, like just grabbing them out left and right. And it's kind of interesting to think back and now look at where we're at now with just like how laser focused we are with what we are picking up. It's not like it was, in the early days, Will, where you, me, Jeremy were just like grabbing cards left and right. It's a much more focused time for us. But at the same time, every card that comes in, I'm much more excited about. And that's been a really cool evolution I think we've all experienced. It's not like I've got 6 or 10 A-Rods coming in at a time. It's like, you've got like a couple Brian Wu cards and that's it. And I'm being very, very picky with what I'm after. And I know Ben and I have talked about this a lot. I know, Will, you've definitely gotten a lot more specific with what you're grabbing. But to touch on what you did there with the Hall of Fame collection, I mean, that was super cool. And I think motivating for me, and I know Ben too, when we talked about it, like, you were hitting your wall with Ripken and you might add 1 or 2 nice ones a year. So it's like, okay, what am I going to do that kind of keeps me into the hobby but doesn't burn me out? It's like, let me grab something that's very specific that I know I can have some fun with over the next few months, few years, whatever. So I'll start off with a few cards and then I'll throw it to Ben and then we'll go to Will. I'm going to see what you guys have been grabbing as of late. Early on we talked a lot about being specific when new releases come out. I'm sure Will, you see this all the time, people coming in for Stadium Club, Top Series 1, Formula 1, whatever the big releases are. Sometimes people get caught up, and I'm guilty of this in the past. Like, I want to grab every card and collect the rainbow. But Ben and I sat down and looked at Stadium Club and looked at Series 1 and said, okay, what are 2 or 3 cards from each release that we want to go after, and then everything else doesn't exist type thing. And so I was lucky enough to be able to grab both of the ones I was after in the last month, which is cool. So there's the members only, which it looks better than it's ever looked because it's got the gold Spectrum foil on there, but they've never done that. Remember, it used to just be the stamp and it was like a circle stamp and that was it. So it's much more noticeable. But I think for me, the biggest one was the rainbow foil, right? Because I knew this picture was really going to look good with the rainbow foil. The Stadium Club always does.
And that one popped up for like a very reasonable price pretty early.
It was. Another one popped up that's jersey numbered and he wants, like $80 for it, which I'm really glad that's not the first one that popped up, although I wouldn't even touch it. But the one that I want to ask Will about, because honestly, I'm not as keyed in on the modern cards as far as like exchanges and stuff like that goes and pack redemptions. Don't know if you guys send those in for customers, but Topps Big League is, meant for kids to open, similar to Collector's Choice. It's a great product, honestly. I don't know if you guys have opened it or seen. I'm sure Will has a bit, but it's a fun product. There's cool inserts in there, and there is chase still, which you have to have in cheap products, right?
Yep.
But I told Ben about this when the golds out of 50 I thought were pack pull, but apparently you got to send in wrappers to get these. So I thought that was really, really cool. I'm thinking like, there's no way all 50 of these are out there right now. There's absolutely no way. Like most people. So Will, do you know anything about that program at all, or is it kind of a under the radar thing?
No, the big league stuff. That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah.
We don't move a ton of big league. That's not really our bread and butter. So I have not seen much of that open in the shop. But what's the process for it? You hit the redemption, but you gotta.
I think it's one of those things where you send in like a certain number of packs, like the good old days, where you'd send in packs. Like Upper Deck did it up until like 18, 19 O-Pee-Chee, where you'd send in a box worth of packs or something, and you get a wrapper redemption pack of 3 red bordered cards, and they're definitely not as easy to get as people are paying for them. If you catch my drift, but like that gold, I'm like, I don't really see any sales for that. So it's almost like a cool 90s pack redemption type deal.
Yeah, like a good sneaky one.
Yeah, exactly. I told Ben when I got it for, and we were both just like, holy smoke. So I don't know. I think it's cool that in Modern there are cards that are still flying under the radar as rare. Even like a members only parallel, there's no numbering on it. So somebody's going to end up putting some decent player, Lawrence Butler or something is going to sit in a dollar box, and it's a members only parallel, which is what, out of 12 or something, Ben, right? Something like that.
Yeah, maybe 18, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, very low print.
So very, very low. So for me, I'm really enjoying, as opposed to when I collected Glass Now at the beginning, I was just like grabbing everything left and right. Now it's like 1 or 2 cards per release, and then I'm gonna, sit back. So my main chase from Series 1, I can't wait to show you guys, but the backs of these cards look amazing. So I can't wait to see it.
I know it
in hand. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, how about you, Ben? How's it? I know you're in sell mode, but you have grabbed a couple things, right?
Yeah, so I have grabbed a couple things, but one thing I wanted to mention to your point of that out of 50, right? Like the pack, you can get pack pulled gold foils in Big League that are like the legend foils, and those are gold foil but not numbered.
Okay.
So there is a gold foil version that people see of certain players. It's like a subset checklist. So
yeah,
I think some people are probably seeing the gold and just going like, oh, that's the gold version, whatever. But it's got a different, it's a different back too than the
Wrapper
standard.
Redemption 79.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
it's
totally
crazy that they're doing that as of 2 years ago. Still, like you figure that kind of stuff would go away.
Another side note to that, though, like one of the successes I had at the Nashville show recently that I shared on the last podcast was I found a dollar box that had cards that were all like around $1, and then some crazy sneak cards. Like just as a reminder, do your research. Like I found a gold prism refractor from an old Platinum Anniversary. Those are retail. They're 1 in 408 packs or something. They're short printed to like maybe 30. Got it for 90 cents. Turned around, I just sold it for $19.50. So I had a number of cards like that came out of that box that were all like, if you know, it was like a 2000 Pacific Prism, but one of the rare non-serial numbered textures on that. Ivan Rodriguez, bought it for 90 cents, sold it for $7.50. Like a number of those like crazy cards that you can just make a bunch of money on for fun if you just do the research. I think that's one of those that once people find out, you can do the redemptions. They go, oh, only 8 people sent them in. For sure. Which actually, to that point, so here's a couple that I picked up that'll be for the PC. I was looking for stuff to buy that I could sell, but like I always loved these studios. This is the
97 studios.
Yep. Press proof gold. And this, I've always loved this picture of Griffey, the backwards hat. This is the checklist one, so you can get it for cheaper. I got this for $9.
Which is nuts considering what his cards are selling for now.
$9 I got that for, and it's because it doesn't have anything about it being numbered, the 300 numbering or anything, because it's the checklist version, even though we all know there's only 300 made. Right. So just one of those, someone listed it, didn't really know what it was. I will say the person that listed it listed this one and the silver for the same price. So they definitely didn't know what it was.
Come on, man.
And then kind of similar. Yeah. Kind of similar. Like this one also will go to the PC.
I love those.
These should be worth so much more. I know they're not crazy long odds, but they look so good. The Dufex is crazy. Like I paid like $22 for this one, so probably about what it's going for now. But to me, that should be worth so much more when you look at it. And you get, I know Matt, you're a thing for that, but you get 3 pictures. You get the 1 picture in the back, casual, and the 2 on the front. Like
that is not easy to do nowadays, my friend. That is expensive.
And then here's another $1 card. This is, I'm just gonna see if anybody wants this in the 90s group, the promotion. So I got it for $1.
Very nice.
All right, somebody's gonna want an MVP promotion. There's got to be an Angels or a Chuck Finley guy out there somewhere. 100%. And then the last one that was just kind of fun that I found going through another box was Tim Salmon always seems to find me. I don't know why, but it's the retail limited, numbered to 85. So I got that for 50 cents.
I'm not kidding. Greg actually doesn't like Pacific, so he might not have that. not kidding right now.
Yeah, but I don't know why. I'll be flipping through a box and I'll find the most random, obscure Tim Salmon cards
Oh,
for
geez.
some reason. I can't escape him.
It's like if Greg didn't exist, nobody would care about finding cool Tim Salmons like in our friend group because there was like, no way a Tim Salmon.
Yeah.
Like I even have a cool card of his. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
To that point, there was like 3 in that box that I was flipping through, all of the retail. But for some reason, I was like, well, the Tim Salmon's the one I'm going to pick up. And of the 3 was the best player of the 3 that were in there. But it was like, of course, one of the 3. It could be anybody in that checklist. One of them's Tim Salmon.
That's awesome.
And then I've had a couple other like random pickups since I've been in the selling and finding good deals phase. I showed this one, but like stuff like this, I'll just pick up as like trade bait. So this is at the show. This was going for like $200, but I picked this up a little while back for 50 cash.
Crazy.
And then like I always pick up stuff like this for trade bait. Like Max Fried is the man. I think he's still incredibly had a great season last season. And this card, even in a 10 with the pink retail refractor, I still got it for $35 cash. I feel like that's so cheap.
Right.
And same with SGC. Everything is so cheap now. So I picked up the Scipia Corbin Carroll, who's one of the best outfielders out there. He's been down a little bit. He's going to have a great season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I paid $750 for this card. Like it's just tanked. It's worth nothing in it because of SGC and the fact that he had a slow period here for a little bit. But like trade bait stuff has kind of been on my mind. Like if I can get stuff for that cheap that I feel like is just a discount, I'm gonna do it. I don't plan on holding it forever, but hoping people that like to trade will be interested in things like slabs that I'm not gonna store, but you know.
Well, I think I'm most excited about you, Will, but that Barry Bonds card, man. Like I have not pulled the trigger on an A-Rod because it's so expensive. I know you have the Cal Ripken card, but like considering how rare those are, if you would actually open a case of cards and try to, I think you'd only get 1 or 2 players a case. Like they're definitely not as easy as people might think price wise. So yeah, that's by far my favorite one that I saw over there, man. That's a great card, especially with his market nowadays. Him and Griffey's market have gone to like this. Like, I mean, you see the stuff, Will, like some of the Pacific cards of his that are starting to sell big now. You're like, oh boy, that means you know the market's getting hot for that player.
And there's a conversation to be had there too. I think part of that is on the back of, and this is my speculation, is that 1, more eyes and people coming to the market, but 2, having Ohtani become like this. His cards prices are elevated to generational talent prices now, like superseding everybody. Well, for us in the 90s, that was Griffey. Even though he wasn't putting up the crazy, there was a 10-year period where he was putting up crazy numbers. He was the first to 350 home runs, but he was like the guy it was him and then everybody else playing baseball was like the vibe. Ohtani is that. And I feel like it's causing people to look back at Griffey and go, oh, he was that guy then. We should be paying Ohtani-ish prices for Griffey too. I've seen his stuff just recently. Yeah. Go up 15, 20% out of nowhere.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
That's an interesting theory I haven't considered yet. I've noticed that too. Of like a lot of 90s stuff just keeps going up, and I've just kind of chalked it up to modern collectors just ultimately getting priced out as the ultra modern stuff just like, oh my god, there's just no ceiling on it.
Right.
And eventually people are going to figure out that the 90s stuff is like the genesis of everything that they like today. So why wouldn't I go and buy the Griffey? Why wouldn't I go and,
get the OG?
Yeah, exactly.
I know we need to keep quiet though until I can grab one more card from the 90s, and then you guys can talk it up.
Yeah, I've stopped evangelizing the 90s stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm keeping that to myself. I'm not telling anybody else.
I know, like Alan and Greg were kind of, Alan was like, yeah, we should think about doing another episode. And part of me is like, yeah, we should really dive into where the market is now. But at the same time, I'm like, you both have your certain cards I'm not going to name in your collection already. I mean, Greg's got 2 of them, one of Barry and one of Frank. And it's like, he could put a down payment on a house with one of those cards almost, it seems like. So it's, once that's secure, then we can talk about it. But how about you, Will? You got a couple cards that you've had come in lately. I assume you're still doing the Hall of Fame deal, right?
Yeah. The baseball has kind of dried up for me here the last few months. I couldn't tell you the last time I picked up a baseball Hall of Famer I actually needed.
Wow.
Just because the on-card guys, I've pretty much got covered except for I need Dick Allen, Kirby Puckett, like Bud Selig, if you want to count him as a Hall of Famer, touchy subject. But it's like I'm down to like less than 5 guys that I need an actual on-card auto, and the rest are all cuts. And I went through the other week because I was like, man, there's a lot of names on this list. And I was like, I wonder how many of them actually have like some of these like super pioneer guys from like the 1880s. Like, do they even have anything? And so I just went on Beckett's website and I just started like searching names and filtering by autographs. So many of them either don't, which was nice because that made that kind of pumped my numbers up. And but then like so many of them are like the biggest print run they got was like 2016 Transcendent. There were 4.
Oh geez.
So it's like, well, okay, guess I'm never getting, Night Train McGee from the 1912 Browns. I guess I'm never going to get his cut auto. So, I've gotten the low hanging fruit of the baseball autos, and so now I'm kind of being patient, which now causes me to pivot again. So it's kind of like with the Ripken stuff, I kind of like got to where it's like, okay, I'm down to where it's like I'm gonna be super specific about what I pick up now.
Right.
And I've kind of like got all the stuff I want. So then it's like I've kind of hit that point. It took like 3 years, but I hit that point with the baseball. And so now I've kind of just been like, screw it. I'm just gonna buy autographs, like cool stuff. So like I'm buying some NFL guys. Like I told y'all before we started, I've got a Jerry Rice auto on the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going for the full NFL Hall of Fame or the NBA Hall of Fame, but like top 25. So like give me like Peyton Manning autos and guys that are like super culturally relevant. Like I've got a Terry Bradshaw auto that's ending during this stream that hopefully I win. Nice. Stuff like that. I picked up a Magic Johnson auto, so I'm looking for Larry Bird now.
Oh yeah, wow,
perfect.
So yeah, just fun stuff like that. I'm not going to bother getting a Kobe auto. I'm not looking for a LeBron auto. Whatever, I don't care. If if one falls in my lap in a dollar box, sure, I'll take it.
That would be something.
Yeah, and my completionist side is much less concerned about that. Right. And then like I've kind of like started going into celebrities and just like weird. I got a good weird one-off I can show you. This one came in yesterday. If you're a child of the mid 2000s, you will know who this guy is. That is the Professor.
The Professor, nice dude.
From the And One mixtape tour.
Sick.
This dude is
and in the shorts that are perfect.
Oh yeah. This card was like $30.
Nice.
I don't care. Did I overpay? I don't care. Yeah. And then I picked this one up, another like childhood legend.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, love it.
I guess he made a cameo in a Stargate Atlantis episode.
I was going to say that. I don't know what that would be, but I do like the picture.
Yeah, I don't know it either.
Yeah, I thought great picture, and it's on card. It's not like Pop Century or it's on a sticker or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. I'm trying to think, are there any other weird? I'm looking for like one I was looking for last night was like a Rich Eisen auto. It's like I'm looking for like I've got a Chris Berman auto. I've got like John Miller, some of like the announcers and play-by-play and Sports Center guys. So I was like, I'm looking for Dan Patrick now. I'm looking for Rich Eisen now. Stuff like that. And then on the Ripken side of things, I have picked up a few things, but it's like weird. I don't want to say one of one, but like I like stuff that shouldn't exist, that shouldn't be out in public. So like executive proofs, any kind of like uncut proof, missing a die cut, whatever. I'm your Huckleberry on that. I love it.
Great reference.
Severely underrated in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't exist. You shouldn't have it.
Right.
I do. So this is the less exciting one. I'll show you this one first. This is the Summit Big Bang Mirage insert, but it's the executive proof.
Never seen one of those.
I don't think I've seen one of those.
Yeah.
I haven't either. This one popped up for like a cheap buy it now, and I was like, okay, just take that one.
Smash the bin, dude.
Yeah.
And then this one was also a buy it now that I messaged Matt about because I was like, y'all think this is real? This is a 94 Hot Gloves. That's
so sick.
Has anybody else ever seen one of these?
No.
Like there's obviously a sheet out there somewhere, at least a sheet. I don't know.
That's so cool. It has the X on the top.
Got the X.
This is the area you're going to cut off. Like that makes it even cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. Will, when you get a chance after the show, if you could send me, I know you do your nice Lightbox pictures. If you could remember to send one to me, I do want to show Jean tomorrow and see what she thinks. Because we're in the process we just moved. So she is as far away from me as she's ever been. She used to be easy to walk to. Now she's like a good 2-minute walk or so to get to. So yeah.
Okay.
I'll go over and show that.
Since you're showing that stuff off, Will, I wanted to ask you, or maybe we can talk about it afterwards, but I do have one of these, and I originally got this version of this card, and I recently, well, maybe a year ago, finished the whole run, but the first one I happened to buy was kind of an accident that it's the not numbered, like proof version of one of these.
Wild.
And I replaced it with an out of 30 that I paid a little more for, but they were both like kind of cheap at the time. But I was like, I think I want to move this because it, for me, doesn't fit my collection of all three being the serial numbered versions. But I don't know how you go about, because I would like to trade it to somebody, right? That's like a Boggs guy.
What about the Wade Boggs super fan guy? There's no way he has one.
Like, there's the guy with the crazy man cave.
Yeah, like that dude has like. Have you seen the video of him as he walks down into his man cave?
No.
It's like Wade Boggs has been there, but if I'm Wade Boggs, I'm kind of like, should I have security with me right now?
Yeah,
yeah. Be like locked away down.
Maybe that's the guy I need to reach out to then, because I want this to go to somebody that would like. This is the only copy of Boggs I've ever seen that wasn't numbered, right? Like I don't know how many of these ended up getting out there, but I mean, even no numbered versions. I've seen like one Todd Helton sell in like the last 18 months. Like the non-numbered versions just don't exist. So I don't want to just sell it and have it go to somebody.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, shameless plug for my collector database that I built that's pinned under the featured and announcements section of the 90s group on Facebook.
Yep.
Go
good shout out.
See there's a Wade Boggs collector in there.
That's right, man.
I got one more I'll show and then we can carry on. This one came in the shop. This is the one nice thing about the shop is like, I cannot personally buy directly from a customer because the shop gets first dibs. If the shop passes, then I can buy it from them. But unfortunately, the shop wanted this card. But then I just told my boss, like, that's not even going in the case. Like, just what do you want for it? And so this is an in-person auto, but it is on card. But I'm allowing it because the card is so freaking cool. Mike Tyson walking his tiger.
Dude.
And I was like, what better card to get of Mike Tyson?
No joke.
Like, incredible autograph. The ink is perfect. He's walking his freaking tiger.
It's the most Mike Tyson card you could possibly have.
It's the OG Tiger King card, is it not? Like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that was like an instant, like, no customer even saw that one. That one came home with me immediately.
That would have been gone within a day or two, you'd have to think, right? Once it got to the case, if some like
it would not have lasted till lunch. There's no way. It would have been gone.
Sick, man. Well, yeah, those are some incredible cards that we've all been able to pick up. And I love the commonalities that we're all really enjoying what we're doing, but they're all so different. You know what I mean? Like they touch on different eras, different types of cards. And that's been really cool to see, because if we would have done this 5 years ago, they'd all be 90s cards, which is pretty wild. Couple comments here. Bernard, I'm all over the 90s train right now. Yes, he is. He's got that specific want list that he came up with, kind of like we did, Ben, which is great to see. Luke wants us to start over. Can't do that on a live stream, but if we could, we would. Maybe we could talk backwards and reverse time. This is not true. It never has been true, but I can probably shoot better than him. But I cannot handle the ball better than him or like him in any way. And so, I didn't know this. James did share that. I did not know.
Oh, my God. Is Neil deGrasse Tyson in that set? I'm going to have to go pick that one.
Yeah, you got to grab that. You got to grab that.
Now you have to have both.
And, James just finished watching it. Yep. And then, Bernard said that is awesome. All right. So let's jump into our main topic here. Now, we kind of scratched the surface, Ben, when we were talking about trading, but it's such a broad topic. And again, it's probably impossible to cover it in a 30-minute segment or however long this is going to be. But we, again, really wanted to bring Will on because, Will, you guys do trade nights, and you guys I've seen trades at, just couple customers walk in, both open the box. Do you want to trade? Like trading with the shop in terms of like, I'm going to give you more inventory for this one card that you have. I'm sure there's all sorts of that kind of stuff that goes on. Mm-hmm. So I definitely want to throw it to you first. And then Ben and I, we're seeing it from a completely different side, right, Ben? Like we're at our homes and messaging people and trying to pull off a trade. I tried to trade for a massive A-Rod, didn't quite work out. But it's very different from our end. So I want to throw it to you first, Will. Like, think about what trading was like when the three of us were in the 90s group in its heyday, right? Oh, hey, I found this amazing A-Rod or this Ripken or this Bond. Do you want to trade? There was like a helpful like vibe. You know, like, hey, we'll figure it out. Like, we'll cash and trade, we'll figure it out. It's very different now, isn't it, Will?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, trading at the shop, like I've got to set expectations right off the rip of like, I usually tell people like, I'm not going to be fun to trade with. Like I'm, you know, I don't tell them, but it's like, I'm going to have to rip you off because it's like, I have to make money. So it's like, it has to be heavily in my favor. You know, I heard a guy at the National one time, I was just sitting there at his table and another guy walked up and it's like, do you do trades? And I feel like he explained it so nicely. Like, I will, but it's like, if I trade with you, you get the card you want, and I just get another card to go into my display. So you've got to make that worth it for me. Cause like I got bills. And if it were just like me and you, sure, but you're not trading with me. You're trading with a business.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I try and just be like, listen, just sell it to me. Let's like, the trade is like great, but a trade is like so time consuming. And, you know, it's difficult. It depends on what you got. A lot of the trade proposals I get is a 7-year-old kid with a huge binder that he's unzipping. And he goes, you want to trade for any of these? It's like, well, what do you want? I don't know. Okay. And it's like, all right, buddy, I don't have much more hair to lose. We gotta focus here. Let's lock in and figure this out. So a lot of it, at least like the card shop, is just frustrating. Not like I don't like dealing with customers frustrating. Like it's fine. It's just an added layer to an already difficult thing to do. And then there's also like the tightrope you have to walk of like, is this guy going to go out in his car and leave me a 1-star review because I didn't overpay for his card?
Right.
You want a customer to leave happy still. So.
Right. There's a fine line you got to walk. But you know, and I've always felt this way too. Like even personally, I'm not a big trade guy. Like if I got a card you want and you got a card I want, let's just buy each other's cards and like, let's trade money. And then there was no question of like who got ripped off or whatever, because you've paid your price for it. Even if the money canceled out, like, okay, whatever. It just, I don't know. There's something about just buying a card versus trading for a card that's just like so much cleaner and easier. And
right.
I can understand that too, because as the cards have gone up in value, depending on what you're trading or selling or buying, there's more. I mean, I hate to use the word, it's a hobby, but there's more at stake or more invested in the cards you're trading, right? And you don't want to look a year down the road and go, oh, the card I traded is worth 3x and mine's kind of worth the same, even though I love the card I got. Boy, you have that like, you missed out or you got screwed over, which really at the time you didn't, right? It's a snapshot trade at the time, but.
And that's another level, right? Of like, you know, when we were kids, it's like, okay, my guy's worth the same in the Beckett as your guy. That's an even trade. But it's like the market right now is so crazy that it's like, okay, this card sold for $1,000 this week. My card sold for $1,000 this week. Well, yeah, but I think this guy, and then
but the card letter trend says my guy's going up this way, you know.
Yeah, whatever sales tactic you want to use to try and get your card higher value. Yeah, like, well, you got to throw in more because in July this thing's going to be $1,500. Okay, right. You know, it's like
it's really interesting, isn't it, guys? Like just like you mentioned, Ben and Will, you see this in the shop. Like back in 2018, when, you know, when we were kind of really getting things going again, value was kind of there, but like PMGs were kind of like affordable cards still. So like there wasn't as much at stake in a trade. And, you know, it's just so wild. Like everybody is so like scared to trade for something that will lose value or gain value. Like obviously the trading cards, like landscape isn't the best place that it's been if you're talking about popularity and value. Like it's like through the roof, right? But at the same time, everything is so valuable that's being traded. People are not trading members only cards. Like that's not the type of trades that we're going to be seeing. We're seeing the Flare Perfect 10 types of trades trying to happen
Yeah.
because, that was the types of cards that are worth doing something like that for, but you're going to try to trade because it's so expensive. Like, who's going to just drop 4K on a card? Maybe some of these big ballers do. I don't think we're the type of people that are like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. Like, we're trading and exchanging cards of like low value for today's market. So it's really interesting. When I was talking about this with Ben, I was talking about, I made some trades at the expo and it was like they were wanting 4 for 1, 6 for 1. And while the value was kind of close, it's like they're trying, like you said, Will, to get cards that will either go up or at least sell easily in their display case at the show. So there's these different factors at play, and it's just really, really interesting how, and Ben, you got to see that at the last card show you were at. I mean, it's just, it's so interesting to me that it's almost like, even though the trade nights are like these massive things, as you were talking about earlier before the pod, Will, like the National Trade Night, like if you can't even get in, it's like, are there really is trading going on there? Or is it just like,
it's speculative transactions, I think, for the most part, is kind of what's happening.
It's a lot of dudes flexing. It's a lot of dudes. It's like they got $100,000 on the table. They're not going to move a single thing. They don't want to. They don't need to. They just, I got this and you don't. And I think part of the problem too that I see a lot of is okay, so that comment right there, I see that a lot too. And that's another thing that I have to explain to people. Like, do you do a trade? I go, what do you want? I want that $500 Charizard. Okay. Do you have a $500 card to trade me? Because it's like, I need a 1-to-1. I need like a 1.2 to 1, really.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like, I'm not interested in $10, $50 cards. That's just more work I have to do to make my money back. If I trade this card to you, I want to be able to sell one card to make that money.
Yeah, right.
And that's just another like tough concept for some people. It's like, I hate, a 10-year-old kid, I got to explain that to. That's tough. It's like, I feel like such a dick sometimes because of that. But it's like, it's just, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm on this side of the counter. If I was over there with you, we could maybe do something. I don't know. But it's like, it just can't work that way. But I was going to say too, I think a big problem right now, I'm not trying to be like shaking my fist at the clouds. A problem that I see with younger kids, especially, not like little kids, but like that 10 to 12, like they're finally becoming a sentient human kind of kid, is there so many people in the hobby in general are just like grind set pilled in their head to where it's like
100%. Yeah.
I've got to make money on this. It's the Tim Robinson.
I've
got to figure a way to make money on this.
I've told Matt there's like the hustle culture has infiltrated the hobby. And literally, like when I told Matt this too, when I was at the Nashville show, I saw like cool teenagers there. I would have never told anybody when I was in high school. I collected cards. But I was seeing like cool kids, like coiffed hair, looking cool, making content. It was like, oh, this is a space that's been adopted by cool.
Oh yeah, dude, there's broccoli heads everywhere now.
It's just kind of changed the nature of the game. And like, while that's there, I do wonder, like, since that seems to be the majority of the stuff that comes into the shop that is offered as trade, do you have an example, or can you think of one where like someone came in with the knowledge and was able to like just make a trade for something they saw in a case? Like, does that even happen?
If the trades that usually work out are like super high-end dudes that come in to deal with the shop owner. That's like,
interesting.
You have a Jim Brown rookie I want. Here's a high-grade Mickey Mantle, something like that. It's like that kind of deal.
Okay. Both like, blue chip cards. Yeah.
I'm not, a lot of the time it's like, you want a $20 Charizard. Like that's like, it goes back to like, I'm trying not to be a dick, but like, that's just not worth my time. I can sell that Charizard for $20, you know? So it's like, I'd rather have the cash. I'm sorry, but
there's a couple comments I want to get to here because Luke brings up a couple really good points. First one though, I think we've all experienced this, honestly, whether it's like if you're selling a card to another person who's going to appreciate it
100%.
as much or more, like, okay, I'm willing to take like 10% less of what I paid because it's going to the right home. I've enjoyed it. It's the fee for owning the card. As long as I have, great. Now it's going to Will and he's going to love it, or Ben.
Yep.
But then in this case too, you know, like if I'm trading like a 3-to-1, 3 flurries for 1 flurry, but I really want that 1 flurry and I know I'm gonna like it more than the 3 I'm giving up. It's like the dealer might be winning this trade, but I got a card I love way more than those other 3. So like that's where like Will was talking about, right, Ben? Like if we're trading between each other, I know if Will had this amazing A-Rod that came to the shop and he bought it and he's like, hey Matt, like what can you send me that I can maybe sell to the shop or blah blah blah, we would figure something out. And Will's not going to go, you know, I just think the value's not on the money. Like that's way different than this sense right here. You know, when you're trading with fellow collectors, that's a whole new ball game, new ball game. We've all experienced it, but having dealt with, and he was very nice about it, a guy who had, you know, a perfect 10. I mean, you're never going to see another one, right? You maybe see one more in our lifetime. Like it's that kind of value you have to get everything perfect, you know, like you're saying. But I want to throw this to Will, because this is an interesting point what you said about the $10, $50 cards for one $500 card, because it's different for a dealer at a show compared to a card shop. I know that's the thing, but what he said, Will, is you have to think about liquidity. Sometimes it's much easier to move $10, $50 cards than one $500 card. I know dealers who routinely trade down into multiple cheaper cards for that reason. Now, do you think, Will, this is more of like at a card show over a 4-day weekend where they know those $10, $50 cards will move as compared to a card shop? Or what do you think about this?
A lot of it depends on the market you're in. Like we all kind of know what sells at the shop and what doesn't.
Right.
So a lot of that goes into like, what are you offering me? If it's like stuff that I know can move, yeah, maybe I will. But that's so rare. So rare.
Right.
It's usually like, hey, I have a bunch of junk. Can I pile it on you and just give you quantity for your quality? And it's like, not interested. But you know, like I said, we don't do a lot of trades at the shop for that reason, because it's just like the stars just don't align very often.
Right.
And usually when it does, it's like something crazy high end, and it's just like 2 hobby OGs, like big sharks in the water that are doing a trade. It's not like a middle end something getting traded for. But yeah, I mean, that's a great point. It depends. Like if you run shows, you know, 40 weekends a year and you know your customer, yeah, that might be the right play. Kind of just depends on where you're at in the country, what, you know, who you cater to. Are you a Pokemon guy? Are you a sports guy? If you're a sports guy, are you a certain era? Are you a 90s guy? Are you a modern guy? You know, there's a lot of ifs in there and a lot of variables.
I do wonder, for an example like that, because I've done this a couple times in terms of like holding hot stuff, like I showed, where I'll have like slabs or something of a current player that's going to be easy for them to move for, like the one Tony Gwynn that I want that like is probably going to sit for a lot longer for them. I can kind of talk through and make that work in a trade. In that example, kind of given where you are locationally, and the Braves probably being the main team, if I came in with 10 raw $50-ish Acuna rookies, I wanted your one $500 again. Let's say,
you wanted the $500 card that's been sitting in my case for 8 months.
Yeah, I gave you 10 raw 2018 Acunas. We would make that deal, right? It's just it's knowing the right stuff. And to that example, like one trade I made at the show, talked with the dealer. He was decently busy, but we were chatting. He had a love for 90s cards too, and I had one stat line Tony Gwynn card, and he was a big Tony Gwynn guy. It was numbered to 41 because it was like the 2000 year where he only had 41 hits, something, and he had never seen it, and he really wanted it, so I was able to trade that card plus like $10 for 2 cards that I really wanted. It was that A-Rod that I showed off and the 2012 Panini Prism Silver Ichiro that I wanted. So sick. So like ended up being a great trade just because we talked and just because I had something that he was like, oh, well, I haven't seen that. I want it. It was more like make a relationship. What are you looking for? We're chatting a little bit. Hey, we both kind of want these things. None of it's worth that much. Right. Can we make like just a casual trade? One of the first casual trades I've done in a while where we both kind of forgot about money for a second.
Right.
But those are rare.
Like another thing to consider too is like the foot traffic at the time. Like if you're at a show or like if you're at our shop on a Saturday, and I just said, our Saturdays are insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
you can't bring in a 2-row box.
We're 5 people deep behind you. I don't have time to go through your dirty Ziploc bag of loose cards right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would love to, but I just like this.
Yeah.
This ain't the day.
Yeah.
Come in on Tuesday and we can sit here and kick our feet up and BS and trade and do whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those, you know, when you're on the customer side of the counter, it's like you got to know when to get in there, when not to. It's like, right. I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like asking my wife what's for dinner, and it's like, that's a spicy question, and you've got to pick your moment, because if you just go, what are you making for dinner? Ooh, if I ask that at the wrong time, it's going to be bad times.
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of pick your spot.
Yeah.
Come in with a plan. Don't come in and go, do you do trays? Do you want any of this? And I ask you what you want, and you shrug your shoulders. I want to put your head through the showcase.
Yeah, right.
That drives me nuts. It's like people are coming to sell too, and it's like they come in with a freaking Nissan Altima trunk full. Say, well, what do you want for it? I don't know. And it's like, I am going to grab the tire iron out of the back of this Altima, and I'm going to bludgeon you in the parking lot.
Poor Will. He's got PTSD over here.
But you bring up a really good point, though, that I've sort of, you know, just being aware of your cards, knowing the value of them and what you're looking for is like one step, but also like having a plan, knowing what you want to look for. Yeah. And like having I want to make a proposal to you. I'm cutting straight to, this is the deal. I have these. If you're interested in those, I have these 4 as a backup. I'm interested in this, this, and this. Are you open to trades for any of those 4? Here's what I can bring to the table. Here's what I think they're worth. Like planning the trade in your mind before you present it just makes you feel like professional. It cuts the time down. I mean, who doesn't appreciate that? We all think our time is valuable. So like make it quick. Have a plan.
Exactly. And to answer Luke's question, I have found a Tom Brady rookie in a dirty Ziploc bag. So they're out there. It comes from all over.
Hey, you never know what you're going to find. Like Will, you talked about this early days of the card shop. You never know what might be in there. Like you might want to take a peek, like
you gotta dig.
This is to everybody out there who like runs into a friend or family member that's got a dirty Ziploc bag, Walmart bag, whatever box you want to talk about. It's worth taking a look. You never know what's going to be in there. I do want to say one thing to button this up. Educate yourself before you go into a shop or before you go into any trade. If you're wanting to trade with a fellow collector or shop, educate yourself. What do you have? Don't go in there and say, what are these worth? There's so many resources out there now.
Yeah. Come ask me that. I love some of my favorite aspects of working there is like teaching people how to figure out what your cards are worth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't come in here and ask me to buy a card that you don't know anything about. Come in here and ask me, how can I find out what my card's worth?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll spend 30 minutes talking to you, showing you 130 point and all this other crap. And we can, I'll sit there and yap for 5-10 minutes to you.
Yeah.
I do that all the time because a lot of it too is like kids are into it. Parents don't have a clue.
Yeah.
And then to go back to what Ben was talking about earlier, as another thing that I've learned working there is like, I am like a first experience for a lot of kids of negotiating with a stranger where mom and dad don't know anything. Like, you know what your cards are. You can talk to them and they don't know where to start. So it's like, I always try and tell parents like, if the kid comes in and it's just a non-starter, it's like, I'm waving mom or dad over and be like, listen, here's how you can go look the cards up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me, get involved with your kid's life. Here's how you can do this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then like teach your kid. It's great that they can come up and approach me, but like, don't just send them up to me blind. Like give them
some guidance,
some building blocks. Give them a flow chart of like, okay, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to ask him this. If he says, yes, I do this. If he says, no, I do this, then we do this. If he says, yes, I do this. If he says, no, I do this.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Stuff like that. That's what I'd like to see more of. But I mean, God, we got some absolute hustler kids in our shop that like, I love them. They can drive me crazy sometimes, but man, they will hold your feet to the fire and just absolutely grill you to like haggle And I love it. I love to see it. I hate paying sticker. You know, when I was a regular at our shop, we're pretty firm on our sticker prices. We're also very fair. We're not that card shop that's like, it's very fair. But like mentally, I grew up going to card shows in the 90s. It's like, I cannot pay sticker. I'm not going to the car dealership and paying full price, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like, I love the negotiating, haggling, and like teaching kids how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, knowing that like, I'm not going to rip this kid off. It's like,
Right.
you know, I'll kind of be like, okay, well, if you'll do that, what if we do this? And like, see what I can, you know, just kind of mess with them a little bit, get them thinking, like, oh crap, I've got to actually respond to another human. Okay. Because a lot of them don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. But
good. Good. Yeah.
Human interaction. A lot of people, it's rough out in those streets.
Well, I think the biggest thing that we've always tried to do on this podcast, right, Ben, is, and you know this, Will, is like the educational piece. Even back in the Essential Credentials, it was more of an educational thing. And I think while this is focused on joy, like you'll have more joy trading if you know what the heck you are trying to trade. Now, everybody in the chat, you know, like this story from Bernard here, like he knew what he had, he knew what it was worth, he knew what he was getting was less expensive. But again, like what he was getting, he was going to like more, but he also knew exactly what he was giving up and that he wouldn't like those as much, knew they weren't going to appreciate in value. Like if you know what you have and you know the background and where the trend of sales, like you can go into a situation and benefit both people. You really can. So but it all comes down to spending the time and educating yourself on it, right? I think we all agree on that, and
that's a know your audience thing too, right? If I'm going to trade you $140 worth of cards that they can liquidate for my 180 card I'm getting that I might not see again because it's rare and important to me, then we both win because we understand the audience and like what we're trying to trade with each other, right? Like
I think the difficulty in today as an ultra modern collector is it's like, we don't exist. A player collector? What's that?
Crazy.
So like
they are not out there.
Like, yeah, you traded some liquidity to that guy and you got the card you wanted, but now you're both guys wanting liquidity. And it's like, I can't slightly rip myself off just because I want that card. Like I'm trying to flip. I got, you know, and it's like you both are poisoned to make money in your brain. And now the trade is impossible to do.
Luke coming in with the best comments at the right time.
Luke crushing it. Luke is on fire tonight.
That's a player collector, though. That's how we kind of think in a way, right? We do think like that. Like, oh, okay, you've got this rare Ripken, A-Rod, Bonds, Ichiro. Like, okay, rake me over the coals, man. Like, I still want this thing. And so that all just comes down to setting those goals, though. Like Luke, you know, if it's his rarest number one wanted card, Will, and you guys find it in the shop, it's not like you're going to try to like, you know, screw him over or anything, but like, you know, you're not going to have to worry about haggling too much. Like Luke wants the card. This is the price we got. Great. Here's the money. And you're done with it. And player collectors make it easy, like you said, but at the same time, they're not around anymore. Who's got the kabooms? Who's got the downtowns? Because then I can flip it. So it's crazy. And anyway, crazy stuff.
I've told you this before. Like when I first started working here, and at this point, it's been like 3 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy how fast it's gone.
Yep.
The first thing that blew my mind is like 98% of people. That's not hyperbole. It's a very high number of like, what are you looking for? Do you collect anybody? Are you looking for anybody in particular?
It's crazy.
Not really. Just kind of looking. It's like everybody's looking for like something I can flip, something I can put in my repack, something I can sell.
Yeah, I know. I kind of know what the pricing is, so I'm looking for a deal. Basically, there's a lot of that. Yeah. Which, hey, I just showed you cards today where I was like, I'm guilty of that. I was
but like small amounts,
deal.
You know?
Yeah, it's like I bought a card for $10. It might be worth $20. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I know we could keep going on and on. We got to try to start to wrap it up a little bit, but I've had a question on my mind now. How we've done these rapid fire things. I know, Will, I said, hey, come up with a couple questions. We probably only have time for one each, but what I thought I'd do is I'll ask a question. Ben, you'll ask a question. We'll all answer the question, and Will, you'll do the same. We'll try to keep it to like a minute each to kind of just save time or less. But I've been kind of thinking about this because, again, our collecting has evolved. I mean, again, think about now and think about 2018. Very, very different. You know, my question to you guys, like in a minute or less, can you explain to us and all the viewers and people are going to watch this after the fact, what do you still love about collecting today, right now? So I'll go to Ben first. What do you love about collecting right now? Like what keeps you here besides the podcast? That's an obvious.
I was going to say, I could think of like 10 different things. And the first one I think of is the show and like the little community we have, like getting to know people like Luke and getting to catch up with Will. Like it keeps it fun because it is like a community thing, right?
Right.
The fact that I feel like I'm always learning something new. So it's like an ever evolving space, which is kind of fun.
Right.
There's another one is there's so many aspects of it. It never feels like it's just going to end. Like I have achieved the all knowing, I'm omniscient now when it comes to cards. I no longer have to study or learn anymore. Like that part keeps it like entertaining, right?
Right.
There's the never-ending search, evolution of my collection, what I'm interested in, what is grabbing my attention. Did I read a book and now I want to go get one of these things, a piece of history part of it? Like there's so many ways it ties, especially with baseball and Americana, into collecting something that could mean more than just like the player on the card. But there's all those aspects that can make it like an evolving, engaging hobby. However you choose to interact with this hobby space is what you're going to get out of it. So you can always evolve and change the way you're interacting with the people in the space or the cards themselves. And that makes it so fun.
He's achieved the platinum medal on PlayStation or Xbox, right? You got like that, like 3% of all people that play this game have the platinum 100% achievement or whatever. That's where I think we've all gotten to. So that's a great way of phrasing that. How about yourself, Will?
I was going to say, I was thinking of this scene in Ace Ventura 2 at the very beginning when he's in the monastery with the monks. And he's like, I have not received intergalactic supernatural oneness yet. And the monk is like, you just did.
Nice reference. Especially with all the Jim Carrey talk going on lately. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, in the Rhino. That's not, that was a big topic in that family group chat.
Yeah, I know, right?
Get that in our yard. What brings me joy? For me, like most people are just cool. Like this isn't a hobby with a lot of dickheads in it. I feel like they kind of get weeded out quick because you got to be able to like transact. And if you're a jerk, I don't really want to deal with you, bro. Like you're not worth a little square piece of cardboard. You're not worth the headache for me. So most people are cool. And like I've met a lot of cool people. Like, for example, I'm going to Louisville for work in a couple of weeks. I texted Rodney Vallejo and I was like, hey, you want to get dinner? It's like I see Rodney like once every 2 years at the National. And it's like I can text him anytime, be like, hey, I'm in town. You want to hang out? He'll be like, absolutely. Stuff like that. That's what I like. Yeah. It's just like just meeting cool people and especially at the shop, like so many random people come in. It's like Tyler Stevenson, the catcher for the Reds. Yeah. His wife is a doctor here in town, apparently. So he just like popped in the shop one day and like ripped a couple boxes of Dynasty and 5-star and like hung out. I was like, okay, that was cool. He was cool. And he's like, yeah, I got to go spring training tomorrow, whatever, this a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I just, for me, the people make it easy to keep going because it's like, even if I'm not buying much lately, like I still like seeing what y'all pick up or like whatever the interesting subject is in the discussion group today. Like, yeah, it's always just cool to hang out and chat with folks.
It's been pretty cool to see. I think we've all evolved to that answer right now. Cause I'm going to say the same thing. Like throughout building up the podcast and meeting new people, the community aspect is really, I think, what's continued to bring me back, even though it's been a lot slower as far as cards coming in. Cause when we first were getting into this, we could have, this card came in, this card came in, this card came in. I just found out about this 90s card. Like that was going on for 3-4 years straight. And then the podcast, the Essential Credentials, coincided with that excitement. And it was just blowing up. And then COVID kind of, popped the tires on all that and things changed. And now we've been in it so long that we have amassed the knowledge that we have that it's like you're just kind of in it and enjoying it. And when new things come out, there's new things to learn still in the hobby and new, new sets that are coming out that they kind of add something a little different. And also, I think we've all gained way bigger appreciations for like all the 90s stuff. Like obviously the Mike Kramer connection, Will, has been one of the coolest things because that was our first introduction into like how things worked behind the scenes. And we all wondered like, ooh, how rare are these? And like, how did they do this? Oh, they, wild vinyls were hand inserted into packs. You're just like, what? Like there's all that crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, you're right. It is the community. So yeah, I think that's the same for me. It's just, that's what keeps it fun. The cards obviously are still amazing, but I feel like the emphasis on the cards is much less than it was when we all first met. And so I think it's pretty cool to see how that's evolved. So anyway, that's my question. What about you, Ben? What you got for us?
I tried to think of one that was still on theme with our main topic. Have you guys ever had someone ask to trade back, or have you ever asked someone to trade back for a card?
Like you did a trade and then there was
like you did a trade and like years later or something, and you hear from that person, or you've reached out to that person for a specific card, even a copy. I mean, like, hey, I'd like to maybe have that back, or they reach out to you. Hey, do you still have this card? And what's that gone like?
You have an answer, Will?
I think I have. I think like I've done trades with guys.
Yeah.
But it's nothing. I'm trying to think.
What about selling? Because like I'm thinking of it in this way, Will. Like obviously, when I sold the A-Rod collection, thankfully Jeremy got a pretty good chunk of the really nice ones. Like that was what needed to happen, because I didn't want them going to a greater flipper. I just did not want that to happen. Sure. So I've been able to buy some of those back. And Jeremy was cool about reaching out when he started selling stuff again. Like, these are the ones you sold me. Would you like to buy them back? And so that has happened. So that's the only example I've got for that. I think we've probably all experienced that, right, Will? Where you sold something and bought it back.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that a lot of player collectors struggle with that I see is like, I'm not selling anything. It's like, there's no law against buying it back later. Like, if you have the opportunity to buy an absolute banger, if you got an opportunity to buy $1,000 card, but you got to sell some $300 cards to get there, like that's going to suck. But like that $300 cards out of 50, there's 49 other copies out there that you can go and buy. It won't be as cheap as you bought this one for.
Right.
But you can go get it back if you really want it. And most of the time when I've done that, I've never bought it back because it's like, I got what I actually wanted out of it. What I got was way cooler than what I sold. And, it is what it is.
Partially pose the question because I'm sort of grooming my collection a little bit. I'm going through that headspace of like, I might sell this and then I'll want it back later, or make a trade, right? Where I bring this as trade bait and I might want that card back later. And there is a little bit of that, especially when it's like a PC player, you go, oof. I will even tell myself like, well, I like this specific copy. Like I will lie to myself over like the copy, right?
The corners are so sharp on this.
Like, I don't know, man. I've looked at a lot of these. This one's centered better than like every other copy I've seen. I think I might have something special here. But it's nice to know that, oftentimes with you guys that have been able to move, significant pieces. Like I know for you, Matt, when you did that with A-Rod, you've been able to go back and find stuff and keeping connections and not really having that problem. So like, I'm looking at putting more stuff on what I would call the trade block from the PC, thinking like that. I want to be flexible for some other pieces, Matt, the one big card that I would like to have the reserves ready for.
Yeah.
And if it means moving some stuff that I don't really want to trade or let go of, but it means I can trade in a way into that one card. Then.
Right. And it's definitely a tricky situation to be in though, because I think you don't want to have the FOMO if you can, but at the same time, it's nice. Like I said, right, Will, where you can, if I'm trading a really nice A-Rod to Will, I know he's not getting it to sell it. He's getting it to keep it. But I've also done this with Jeremy, and I think you guys have probably maybe done this before, is I've traded something to Jeremy, and I said, hey, can you promise me one thing before I sell an A-Rod to him, like, if you're going to sell it again, please let me know first.
Yeah, give me first dibs back.
Yes, yeah. And I don't want to mention the card that Jeremy and I did this with because I kind of feel guilty that I actually sold it to him in the first place, but he got to enjoy it for a bit, and I gave him the money that he paid me for it. So it was he held on to it in a way.
I paid a storage fee.
Storage fee. Yeah, but that's where I think if you get caught up in this – this is funny.
Yeah.
Because you must have heard it. It's like, if I know I'm selling something to one of you two guys, first of all, if I never get it back, great, because I know it's in good hands. But if there is a time where Ben or Will, you guys are like, this card, the card popped up and I need money and I'm in a position to grab it back from you, I'm going to do it. So I think that's where you can kind of cater these sales in a way. If you sell something at a card show to somebody, you're not going to get it back. Most
Yeah.
likely. So just know that going in, right?
Yeah. I know when I do that with eBay, it goes to the ether.
Yep.
And it's just
It's
gone.
He gone.
Well, and to tie it back to the trade thing, it's like that's one thing that it can make trades easier too, because you have that connection to the card. But like the modern collector does not have that connection.
Nope.
This is just a means to an end.
Yep.
And so that can make it a little more difficult.
Another thing to keep in mind, who are you trading with when you do the trade if you're at all interested in seeing that card ever again?
Yeah, exactly. Either you got to detach yourself from it completely. Like, I had my joy, don't care if I ever see this again, especially with modern cards. I feel like it's way easier with them than it is for the 90s cards, especially now. Like, if I had to sell or trade everything away, the A-Rods aren't getting touched, the rare A-Rods. They're not going to get touched again. I even told that to Alan, who got quite excited when I told him. But it was like, these are the ones I think in long term that are going to have like the value attached to them many years down the road when we're all old farts. So I think it's there's something to be said about that. But how about you, Will? Did you come up with one for the group?
Yeah. I got assaulted today outside the grocery store. What's y'all's Girl Scout cookie of choice?
Ooh, this is good. I like that he went off topic because we definitely need one per episode.
Thin mint in the freezer.
In the freezer. Yeah, I'm a fridge guy. I do tagalongs and thin mints in the fridge.
Okay.
Nice. Did you say the thin mints, Ben? Is that what I heard you say?
Thin mints in the freezer. I like them like ice cold.
Yeah. Oh.
Especially crumble them on some ice cream or something. I'm a weirdo because I don't know, maybe I was English or something a long time ago in like 3 past lives, but the shortbread cookies,
shortbread guy,
I can crush.
I don't even know you.
Dude, but the best ones, let's be honest, the best ones are, is it the tagalong? Is that like this? Oh, the Samoas. Sorry. Right? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the coconut. I don't do coconut. My wife gets the Samoas, and she does not have to worry about me eating those at all.
Yeah,
I don't touch them.
Yeah, you have a good thing going then.
I know,
like the same thing, so it's a battle.
Yeah, I know. There's people, they'll move furniture and fight you over Samoas. And it's like, that ain't gonna be me.
I mean, when I was young, it was the peanut butter cookies, right? Because it was like the closest I could get to like eating a Reese's if I wanted, with like a lot less calorie intake in a way. But I haven't bought any in so long, and I don't know what I would get now, honestly. I know they've come up with different kinds and whatnot, but I think for me, it's like the shortbread ones, you can combine them with something else to make them good. If they like dipped them in chocolate, they'd probably be even better, which I'm glad they don't. But yeah, very interesting. Look at Ben getting all offended over there over my cookie choice. What? Well, I guess you're walking your butt around downtown next time you arrive. So yeah,
that's true.
I love this tag along, or we aren't friends. Like, everybody getting offended over all the things get offended in the world today. I love that we're getting offended over Girl Scout.
That was the rapid fire that got people up in arms.
Yeah,
right.
wow, look at this. Yeah,
I know we got shortbread slander in the comments.
I feel like something changed a few years back, and here's the thing: we can agree on this. This is a wild take, maybe, but like, back in the day, Captain Crunch, Peanut Butter Crunch used to be like the best. Same with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But if you go eat it now compared to where we were kids, there's so much extra preservative crap in there. It tastes like I'm eating cardboard almost. Like, it's not even close to the same thing. So same thing with Girl Scout cookies.
It tasted like cardboard when we were kids too.
No way, dude. No way.
You just didn't know. You didn't realize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We hadn't had filet mignon yet. We didn't know no better.
We didn't have the discerning palates we do now.
I was on a cereal and chicken finger diet until like age 8 or 9. So it's like, yeah, I didn't know no better.
Chicken fingers, and then don't forget the old pizza rolls, man. Like,
yeah.
Matt, you're playing into the nostalgia. Like the cereal was better, the cards were made better in the 90s.
They were.
The cards were better in the 90s.
The women were hotter. Everybody made more money.
The movies were better. The baseball games were better.
Pop-Tarts were better back then. Now we've got like dill pickle Pop-Tarts. Like, what is this nonsense, man? Get out of here. Oreos, they've got like these ridiculous flavors of Oreos. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, no, just go classic. Keep with the classics. What's wrong with you guys? I know, it's funny. James says it's funny you say that because I kind of wanted to grab some peanut butter crunch recently for nostalgia. Maybe I won't.
Report back.
Yeah, Luke, that's still my diet. Yeah, that was a great question. There was something that back in the day, JJ Redick used to be on a podcast, The Old Man and the Three, and they did with Duncan Robinson, they did like a like a freezer aisle draft or whatever, and they like went back and forth and like
Oh
did
my
like
God.
like that. If we ever did
Ooh.
something like that next time you came on, that would be fun. If we like picked a section of the like cereal or something, we had to do a cereal draft and see who came up with the best lineup. That could be fun.
Oh my God. That's something I could be overly passionate about.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could ruin a night at the National the next time we're all at a National. We do that, and we have to pick out boxes for us to rip and like
Oh,
rip
geez.
and eat frozen snacks. Have a big fight over which is
That'd
best.
be a long, painful night. And then the next day we'd be like just like barely walking through the show floor, like trying not to throw up.
Yeah.
Oh
Screw
my
trade night. There's a junk food draft
Yeah,
at the Marriott.
we're learning our own thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'd have to like prepare for a month for that. Just like eat nothing but like go straight vegetarian, go on like a super strict diet, go like fast for a month just so I could, totally abuse my body for one night. That would be awful, man, but fun at the same time. So, well, this was a good one, fellas. I appreciate Will. Obviously, we both do.
Will, thanks.
For me, and then I'll throw it to Ben. But like, really appreciate you coming on here and kind of giving some people some info, because I feel like if you watch this and you then go into a shop, hopefully you've got a little more expectations and knowledge of what am I going to go into this shop asking? Am I going to go in there and just go, I don't know what I want. Don't I want for these? What do you want to give me? Like, know your stuff going in. So I think that was super insightful that you come in and tell us about that stuff. It's always great to have you on because you're seeing it from the other side. You know what I mean? You're now a grizzled hobby shop veteran from behind the counter, and so it's nice to have that that side of things being shared. So what about you, Ben? Any final thoughts?
I would say like use your local hobby shop as a resource. Tops and Fanatics is really like tightening the screws on the old guys that have been here for 100 years and their shop sucks. Like Tops is like putting out some rules now, and it's like you're getting dinged on allocation if your shop's not set up a certain way. And so it's going to start weeding out, the cream's going to start rising to the top here soon. And it's like, if you have a local card shop, like go use them as a resource. Like think of me as like, I'm your local librarian, but for much shorter books. It's a 1-pager. It's just a piece of cardboard, but it's like, there's a lot of knowledge in there. And it's like I said, it's a great place to go in. Let your kid learn how to be an adult in a zero, in a zero danger environment kind of deal. Like, I would say utilize your LCS as a resource more than just a place to go buy cards.
Sure.
I mean, I appreciate you coming on, Will, because you kind of do that for us as well, right? You kind of have a different pulse on the hobby because you're seeing totally all the different types of people that might enter a shop, right? And Matt and I are not interfacing with those types of collectors or people on the periphery of the hobby, right? Like we kind of have our very serious collectors, our sort of, I wouldn't say bubble. We try to be inviting and let anybody in, but like generally speaking, we have a little bit of a bubble in our community that we're used to. And it's nice to hear like the pulse of the hobby from a different direction, kind of know like, hey, if we're gonna go make a trade, they might have been going through this for the past 3 Saturdays, and maybe we need to come in like very ready to go, very business-like if we're looking to make a trade with a shop.
Yeah, and I mean, I know too, like us being 90s guys, like I could say 100% of card shops aren't going to have what we're looking for, because I'm looking for a very specific card of a very specific player from a very narrow time frame.
Yep.
But that's okay. Like, go buy supplies from your card shop. Go, the stupidest stuff. Don't give Jeff Bezos any more of your money. Go keep your money local. Support your local card shop, even if you feel like they're ripping you off, they're not going to rip you off on top loaders and penny sleeves. And you never know what you're going to find. I get stuff that walks in the shop all the time that like blows me away that this walked in today. Like, what is this doing here?
Right.
And you never know. And if you make a good connection with your card shop guy, and he knows now that, I have a high-end 90s Cal Ripken guy. I don't have to pass on these platinum medallions anymore. I can call Will, go, hey, are these a good buy? I just picked these up. Do you want them? Make those connections.
Right.
Couldn't agree more. And I will also say the 3 card shops that I have close connections with back where my parents live, they have their own stuff in the back. Always. They have their own collection. They have their own stuff. And if you spend time there, buy your supplies there, get to know them, chat, not only will they maybe hit you up if they have something that they think you might like, but they might have something they would be willing to sell you because they know it's going to a good home.
Right.
That happened to me more than once too.
Yep.
So
Every shop owner has a PC, and they all have a safe full of cool stuff in the back.
100%.
Just like everybody at a card show, they've got the case behind the table, and I've seen some crazy stuff come out of those cases. We all have, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, work on building up a relationship. That is my number one piece of advice, and we all agree on that. And I'm glad that, you know, somebody that works at a shop is echoing that. Not that the people that watch this necessarily live need to know that, but I think people that come across this show, hopefully it gives them a little bit of a, maybe I should be a little more social and just ask, like, hey, who do you collect, you know, on a slow day, right? Well, not when you've got 6 people behind you.
Right.
Poor Will. Oh, geez. All right. Well, hey, fellas, this has been a fun one. Again, Will, thanks for coming on here. Really appreciate it. Would love to have you on here again. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll see everybody in a couple weeks. I hope everybody has a great week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.